Good morning. As I talked about last week, my checking account got hacked. And when that happened, I had a lot of messes to clean up this past week. One of the messes was that I had paid my city tax about 3 months ago and they never cashed the checks. I paid for my wife's business and my business and they never cashed them. So I called the city and I said, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm just curious. I've sent you checks about 3 months ago and they have yet to be cashed. And before I could even explain that I was, going to have to stop payment on the check, she immediately said, sir, if you had sent it to us, we'd have cashed it already. And I said, well, I know you received the checks because I sent it to the P.O. box for the government and the school board. You also sent 2 checks for the school board and they had already cashed their checks. So that the check had arrived. And she goes, you didn't send it to us, you sent it to the school board. I said, well, I thought I sent it to that P.O. box. She goes, no, you sent it to the school board. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was right, I did. I must have put the wrong number in, or I didn't realize that P.O. box was only for the school board. So I said, oh, okay. So would the school board send that over to you? And she goes, no, they don't do that. I said, so they just got the check. You need to call the school board. I said, okay. So I'm going to write 2 new checks. And what's the best way for us to pay you? And she goes, well, you can mail it to this, mail it to us. And I said, well, I thought I mailed it to the right address. What if I just bring it down to you in person? And she goes, that would work. That'd be fine. I said, okay. And then, can I help you with anything else, sir? And I was like, no. And we got off the phone. And I'll be honest with you, I was annoyed with her attitude. And I'm sitting there thinking, our taxes are really high here for the city. And I had that kind of attitude and I'm just trying to pay my taxes, Do you ever get annoyed? There is 3 steps you can do when you get annoyed to help you process through it quickly. If you don't process through it, what's going to happen is it's just going to build up inside and you're just going to relive it over and over and over, right? So the first thing you need to do is acknowledge that you're annoyed. Your amygdala is what is getting triggered there. It's your fight, flight. And I wanted to say more. I wanted to argue. I wanted to be angry with her. But it wouldn't have helped anything. But that's that fight, flight. As soon as I acknowledge, though, my frontal lobe gets engaged. And it says, when I say, okay, that is triggering my amygdala. She's not attacking me. No one's coming after me. She's having a bad day, whatever it is, and you move on. The second thing you need to do is breathe, get up and walk, stretch, whatever you have to do to release the tension. And your vagus nerve gets triggered there. And when you do those things, it resets your entire emotional feelings too in your body. The third thing is to reframe what happened. So what you do, for example, a simple reframe there is, well, this lady is teaching me a lot of patience. Secondly, I thought, okay, now I know. I know that I can't send it to these 2 don't communicate. The school board and the city don't communicate. The third thing I thought, and there's really positive thoughts like, hey, thank God my bank account got hacked. I don't have to stop checks and pay for the stop checks because I already shut the account down. So those are, you look at it differently. You look at it in a positive way and your stress level goes down and you're not as annoyed as much. We're all going to get annoyed, but if you follow those 3 steps, you know what will happen? You'll get the mental resilience and toughness to handle those. And you will bounce out of those situations much faster and your life will be better. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.